Well, it's another boring, rainy day in quarantine here in Central Florida, April 24th, 2020. Actually, it's nighttime now, not day. The sun's gone down. And I figured it's a perfect time for Canoe Stories Episode 2, The Forrest Fenn Treasure. In 2009 or 2010, an eccentric American multimillionaire named Forrest Fenn claims to have hidden a treasure chest containing between $1 and $2 million worth of gold and jewels somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. In 2010, he self-published a book entitled The Thrill of the Chase, detailing his life and containing a mysterious 24-line poem that supposedly contains all the clues required to locate the treasure. To this day, a decade later, no one has reportedly found the treasure. At least 4 people have died while searching for it. Forrest Fenn himself has said he believes it is still where he put it and may remain there for 1,000 years or even never be found. He has repeatedly stated that this would be fine with him, and he knew when he hid it that it may lay there until the end of time. He acknowledges that it is not practical for him to return and verify that the treasure is still there, but bases his faith that it has not yet been discovered on the belief that, and I quote, "In my opinion, the type of person that's going to find that treasure chest is the type of person that can't keep it quiet." So we must recognize that even if the treasure is real, it is at least possible that it was found long ago and recovered. We must also recognize that the entire claim could be an elaborate hoax perpetuated by an aging egomaniac who did it just for the thrill of deceiving others. As an amateur treasure hunter myself with nearly 20 years of experience, I can tell you the world of treasure hunting is full of characters who would do something like this, and that's worrisome. But Forrest Fenn is a peculiar bird. If he is a compulsive liar, he doesn't seem to fit the mold. He was an Air Force jet fighter pilot, decorated for bravery in combat during Vietnam. He's a self-made millionaire who has gained the trust of very notable people throughout the art and antiquities world. He is a family man. He is a writer. He is a cancer survivor. And finally, when you listen to him talk, he comes across as being pretty believable. Okay, so by now you're probably asking, what the heck does this have to do with canoeing? Fair enough. And just maybe it doesn't, but I'll leave such judgments to you. In the famous poem, there's a line mentioning paddles and creeks. That's it. But it seems significant to me. Fenn himself was an avid fisherman who spent his youth fly fishing the rivers and lakes of the Rocky Mountains, and it is reasonable to believe he did quite a bit of canoeing and rafting in days past. In fact, he states that he so loved the memories of fishing in these mountains that he made the decision to hide the treasure there, based on that. It is at least possible a canoe or some other sort of paddlecraft is a pivotal clue in either where the treasure is hidden or how to recover it. But without further ado, I'll read you the poem. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secrets where, and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk, put in below the home of Brown. From there it's no place for the meek, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease, but tarry scamped with marble gaze. Just take the chest and go in peace. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know. I've done it tired, and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So there you have it. From there it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. What does it all mean? Well, according to Fenn, although his book provides additional background, he swears every clue needed to find the treasure is contained within this poem, and also says that no one will ever accidentally find the chest, and that the poem is the key to locating it. Now I have given this poem a very, very, very close look, and I will say here and now that I have discovered something in it that not 1 in 1,000 people will notice. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and if that angers you, I simply say, welcome to treasure hunting. But I will say, it in itself is not enough to locate the treasure, nor does it prove the treasure exists. For example, let's just say I found a skip code in the text of the poem. That would be significant, but ain't proof of damn near anything besides that Forrest Fenn can disguise words. In fact, that last sentence contained a skip code. That would be significant, but ain't proof of damn near anything besides that Forrest Fenn can disguise words. Did you catch it? Of course not, because they're almost impossible to see unless you know the code. But if you apply a skip code of 13 to the sentence, it reveals, I am God. For the record, I'm not God, and simply saying it in a hidden code doesn't mean it's true. Are you beginning to see the potential difficulties in even determining if Finn's telling the truth, much less where the treasure is located? Welcome to treasure hunting. Now back to the text of the poem for a moment. I can assure you that it is not a connect the dots type map to the location of the chest. A poem like that would have been quickly deciphered by thinking men, and the treasure would have been recovered. If it's true, it is absolutely packed full of hidden meanings. Fenn himself stated, and I quote, "The poem in my book is something I changed over and over again. When you read the poem, it looks like just simple words, but I felt like an architect drawing that poem." If he's telling the truth, the poem is a masterpiece of literature. But if he's lying, the whole thing is a hoax, then the poem is simply a mishmash of meaningless words created by a con man. With regard to the curious stanza about there being no paddle up your creek, I would at least surmise water is involved, and that in itself is very noteworthy. The Rockies are some of the most rugged mountains in the world, and are absolutely filled with lakes, rivers, and creeks. Many would only be accessible and navigable by canoe or kayak, and that also seems noteworthy. So to summarize my feelings about the poem and Forrest Fenn himself, I would have to say I'm sort of on the fence. There are some small things about him I've noticed in interviews that give me a bad feeling about his character. Nothing that convinces me he's lying, though, and so I still give him the benefit of the doubt logically, though I'm instinctively suspicious. I must admit I have never read his book, The Thrill of the Chase. Not because I wouldn't want to know additional information, but because I refuse to pay the ridiculous asking price, and since he claims the poem is the Rosetta Stone to unlocking the treasure's location, I spent my time considering it alone without having my perceptions cluttered with additional data. My gut feeling is that the whole thing is probably bunk, that Fenn never hid anything, and the entire ordeal is a hoax created by him for reasons only he knows. But I may be wrong, and the chest may really be out there waiting for some adventurous canoeist to hoist on board and paddle off into fame and fortune. But we will most likely never know. Welcome to treasure hunting, and thanks for watching.